So cosplay.
So cosplay.
When did you start doing cosplay?
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Okay, first anime convention was 2008, so I was in ninth grade. It was at Tokyo in Tulsa.
Nice.
And I didn't really cosplay as much as I just kind of put on some cat ears and like a Chinese dress.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, that was just first anime convention, so. And then after that, well, it was during that convention that I saw everyone else, cosplaying. I was like, that is super cool. And so, 2009, I did my first cosplay, and that was Elle from Death Note. And so that's a really super simple cosplay, except it's just, oh my god.
Yeah, you just put on a white shirt, some pants.
And I didn't even wear a wig. I just had short black hair that I styled myself.
Man, I think that might have been the same year of my first convention, but that was AzumiCon actually.
That was my second convention.
Was that 2009? Yeah, AzumiCon 2009 was my first.
This is Santiago from the future, and I just wanted to fact check myself and say that my first anime convention was AzumiCon 2010, not AzumiCon 2009.
Now with Ash.
Oh,
I don't even play that much Pokemon. But I was Ash.
that seems to be a lot of people's first cosplays too. Like Patrick's first cosplay was Ash.
Okay, well yeah.
See?
Default dude closet cosplay.
Yep. In fact, I think there's actually footage where it's not you specifically, but our mutual friends. I think it was Becky's brother, Daryl. There's footage of him like running over to dance with some people who are already dancing to like a Haruhi Suzumiya song or something like that. And it's me and my friends.
Wow.
And, yeah. And we saw this footage like a couple of years after we all became friends. I'm like, oh, look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually so that actually wasn't whenever we were friends with that group.
Actually. Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was before then?
Yeah.
Hey.
So I don't know if I've told the story before on the podcast, but Megan was on it. By the way, I'll tell it to you because you don't know.
I don't know.
So Sable applied to work at Vintage Stock in Edmond. And so did Megan. And it was like a group job interview. Mm-hmm. And they connected over Avatar. And so became friends, started working together. And so like started going to conventions together. So I can't remember when that was. That must have been maybe 2011 or 2012 or something like that.
Were you and Sable going out during that time? Or?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we've been going out since 2009.
It's like 8 years now, isn't it?
It's 7, but yeah. Will be 8 in November, which is around the time AzumiCon is. Or was, because now it's in the beginning of the year. Mm. If it even happens this year.
Who knows? I never went back on.
Yeah.
It's like, it always seems like it's on the verge of dying out.
Yeah. But Tokyo and Tulsa is still great.
Yeah, definitely.
What was, after doing your shabby closet cosplay, what were your goals then?
I don't think I've ever really had goals with cosplay to begin with. It was just kind of like, you know, hey, I like this character. I guess I'll cosplay them.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of my cosplays I did as like favor for friends because I know Matt wanted to get into cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to cosplay from Kingdom Hearts, and I had never played Kingdom Hearts when he proposed this. I was like, sure, why not? So we somehow threw together a closet Sora cosplay, but that caused me to get into Kingdom Hearts, and now I love cosplaying Sora.
Yeah. You're a really good Sora, actually.
Oh, thank you.
I think people know you pretty well for your Sora.
It's been a while, but I'm hoping to get back. I mean, I still have the wig that I was really proud of, but I might tweak it. Everyone tweaks it.
I've actually never played Kingdom Hearts either, so.
It's really confusing.
Yeah. It's just an anime in video game form.
Basically, yeah. However, if you're into like video game theories and almost conspiracies and stuff like that, there's so much in Kingdom Hearts. You and Matt could have like hours and hours of like material to discuss.
But I haven't played Kingdom Hearts. So.
You could. It's potential.
And then, like I said in the other one, you did skits too. How soon after your first one was the skit stuff?
I want to say a couple years. I don't actually have. I don't really have any years in mind. It was still when I was going to IzumiCon and was still held at like the Sheraton in Midwest City. So I want to say like 2 or 3 years. And it was inspired by Little Karibo's Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series. And at that time, it wasn't like cosplay goals. It was just like, hey, I want to write a skit because I think I'm funny.
Yeah, you are funny.
Oh, thanks. I was also piggybacking on a better comedian than I. But
well, I don't know. Can you like contact him?
we did put up the skits on YouTube, and we're like, oh, hey, Little Grebo, and I think I messaged him once. He never really got back to us, so I was like, meh.
But that one did really well. Did you win with that one? The first one?
The first one, yeah, we won. I think we won first place with the first one, and then we went to, what was it, Tokyo and Tulsa with the second one. And I think we got second place with that one. We got best in show for Naka, and then our third one, we won first place.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Whatever. And not to toot my own horn or anything.
That's fine. I mean, we've won 2.
And then pretty good skits. I was big fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's one. That one was really good.
Yeah. A lot of work. I mean, it's always a lot of work. Been doing a lot of work for this year's skit, which I won't say on record because it's fun to build hype.
I didn't know you guys were doing a skit.
If no one else is doing hype, at least we're hyping ourselves up.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
And then people get hyped when they see it.
Yeah. But have hype because we're doing a skit.
Woo!
What do you prefer out of cosplay? Like, do you prefer doing skits? Do you prefer like the performing, or do you prefer like the making stuff? Yeah.
I've always been a fan of like the outcome and the results.
Yeah.
I prefer, I guess, the performance and stuff like that. Because my strong suit isn't like the quality of the cosplay itself. Because I'm one to be like, if you're on stage, no one can really see all the details.
Yeah.
But I guess I like trying to channel the character, or at least, use the information from the series to create something funny out of it.
And that's what I think, like, separates some really good cosplayers from just like, hey, I'm a cosplayer. Is that willingness to perform and be the character, because that's what cosplay is. Like, it's one thing to just be Santiago in an Ash costume. It's another thing to really become the character that you are being and make that as like big as possible or awkward as possible if the character is awkward. It just wouldn't make sense to cosplay Elle from Death Note and walk around upright and be like, hey, how's everyone doing? Because that just doesn't make sense.
I guess, people cosplay for different reasons. I know that a lot of people like the actual making of the costume and being as accurate as possible. And sometimes, like, it's not a performance or, like, how accurate you are. It's just the fun of being able to dress up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, performance and, like, getting those details down, those definitely enhance your cosplay if you want to get, I guess, really serious into it.
Yeah. And I mean, it was really helpful to learn how to sew.
Definitely. I learned so many skills from cosplay.
Yeah. I haven't quite gotten like the crafting down. I can't make like 3D things in physical space. You know how like everyone had to do an art class in like middle school?
Yeah.
I was always awful at sculpting.
Oh.
Like, it just would not work. I don't know. And then other people just like, here's a perfect sphere.
And you're like, thanks, Michelangelo.
Yeah. I really just try and see the sculpture that's underneath, and then I just chisel away at it.
Bullshit.
But I mean, sewing and building things is a very helpful skill.
Definitely sewing. Which I really need to purchase a sewing machine. But yeah, prior to cosplay, I never sewed anything. And then I think about 3 years ago, I sewed a dress for my Katara cosplay the morning of the convention. I sewed the entire thing. Like, oh boy. And it didn't fall apart.
Yeah. Well, I mean, should sewing really take that long? Like, I don't know, like, it always seems to take forever.
I mean, if you want higher quality and the faster you sew and get it done, it could either mean you're really good and you don't have to go back and unstitch things, or you're like, well, this is being held up by like a single thread, a single stitch, and if it holds, it holds. If not, I've got hot glue.
Hot glue saves lives.
But yeah, just especially patterns. Like I went kind of freehand with that dress because it's like, oh, the top part is basically like scrubs, and the bottom part just it's just two flaps. Yeah. But like I know the more complicated cosplays, you have to use a pattern, you have to alter that pattern, and then I've known people to like
just freehand it or something.
Yeah, like Becky Shear, Rebecca on Instagram, plug-in.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is super good at just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
So she'll get a pattern, maybe, and be like, oh, we'll alter it a bit. And sometimes she's like, well, if I lay on the fabric and trace it, that'll give me a general idea of what it needs to do. Like, that's talent.
I think I've only done that like a few times. The whole just like, let's just run this through. And then you like unfold it and stuff. You're like, hey, that worked. Yeah. But most of the time, it's really like, what's the pattern saying here? I don't understand what this picture is saying. Is this the front side or the back side? So do I attach this piece to this piece? I
think that's what half of sewing is. Yeah. It's just like, what is going on with this pattern? And then, whoops, sew the wrong pieces together. Yep.
It takes, like, you really learn your lesson, too, whenever you're, like, seam ripping.
Each stitch, you're just like, I'm an idiot.
Hence the, I know it's like a wood term, but it's like measure twice, cut once. It's like you should really like pin it and unfold it and like look at it and then maybe put it on and then be like, okay, this is the right step. Now I sew it together.
However, if you're doing the traditional con crunch and you've only got so much time, you're like, it's probably right.
Yeah.
And then you pay for it later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Important lesson.
Hot glue saves lives.
And it ruins others.
Yeah, that and safety pins.
Yes, definitely. I'm pretty sure like half the cosplay community holds their costumes up with hot glue and or safety pins.
Really, because buttons and buttonholes.
That's too much. You can't run it through a machine. You have to like hand sew them.
Yeah. Or I mean, like there's the fancy device that does.
Who can afford that?
Well, it's like there's like a buttonhole foot, I think, on like Sable's mom's machine, and it like there's like a setting for like buttonhole, and you like attach the thing and you set it to the right measurement, and then you like put it in the right place, and you just put your foot down.
You go for it.
And I haven't done it before, but it seems to make sense. But most of the time, you're not going to see buttons because it's so much easier to just safety pin it underneath, and then, it looks nice.
But you can't see, people don't need to know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unless you're going for like a costume contest.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can you look under? No.
Yeah, I have a desire to make one of those costumes. Like,
same.
I want to make Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Do it!
But just like looking at this Renaissance era, like everything embroidered and complicated, and I'm just like, I want to.
But realistically, it's so much. It's just so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started to think about buying my cosplays because it's like, I'm not going to go to a costume judging contest because I'm always there for the skits.
Yeah.
But, I don't have time anymore. I have money now, but because of that, I do not have any more time.
Yes. The two problems are inverse.
Yeah.
I have so much time and no money.
Yeah. I guess I'll just sit at home.
And sew a costume because I have time.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the opposite. I've been working a lot and I have all this money, but given all this working time that I'm doing, I have no time to actually make a costume.
I have 5 hours every day to take a shower, make dinner, eat dinner, and then try to relax.
Yeah, try.
Yeah.
And, good old relaxing TV show, The News. If you really want to feel relaxed, just
sure.
turn on CNN and be like,
God.
I'm in for a great night.
Got my tea, got my spiked tea. It's Long Island tea.
Got my antidepressants. We're all good.
Go into a fit of rage. Anyway. But yeah.
What's the cosplay that you're most proud of?
Ooh, interesting question. I am proud of nothing. No,
Everything I've made is garbage.
Are we talking costume or overall cosplay?
It's up to you. Your favorite thing.
Because the cosplays I liked have not been the ones that I sewed. Let's see. I really liked my Deaverman cosplay I did of Conda. Except Rebecca, she's the one who sewed that. I just bought a wig, and I think I actually commissioned Ethan for the sword.
Yes.
And then I liked my Sora cosplay. I styled the wig again, and again I got Ethan commissioned the Keyblade.
I don't know if Ethan is doing commissions at the moment.
Just kidding, he made it as a friend.
No, I mean, like, I don't know if plugging him
helps at all.
Yeah, because if people were like, oh, who's this Ethan guy? And I'm like,
Who knows?
I don't think he's making things right now.
I forgot his last name. Just Ethan.
We won't say his last name
yeah.
because he's not willing to be on the podcast.
Oh.
Well, he's a quiet man.
Oh, this is true. And it's a lot of pressure to be like, well, at 1 hour, go ahead and talk.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he made the Keyblade for me, and the costume came from China.
That's fine.
Yeah?
It's great.
Yeah.
Looks super good.
I had some complaints, but you know.
No one can notice.
No one would care.
That and like, I don't think, like, even if people are like, oh my gosh, I love your costume, you're like, yeah, I don't really like your.
Yeah,
like, yeah, like,
you never
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, you never vocalize it.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing that you've made?
Goodness gracious. Probably my wigs. Although, okay, I guess my Sora wig. Mm-hmm. Although now that I've, gotten better, I'm like, ow, that needs a touch up. But at the time, I was very proud of it. Mm-hmm. I was proud that I could make that Katara dress in like a few hours.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of all my cosplays. Totally not checking my Instagram at the moment. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that Doctor Who one.
Oh yeah, the TARDIS. Okay, that's actually the one I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
The one I forgot. I personally did not sew anything on there, and the things I did sew, it was just like one sheet of white fabric with some ribbons sewn on. Mm. If you check my Instagram at Vandever, you can see my original design TARDIS dress, which I was proud because I designed that one. I took a club dress and then altered it a little bit to make it look like the windows around the neck and chest area. And then I made a bowler hat. Might not be specifically bowler, but that style. And I put the police call, that sort of writing on there. And I did have a clutch that I had stenciled in that little, oh God, what is it? It's like pull to open thing.
Oh yeah.
But that little sticker on the side or that sheet of paper, that was actually on the clutch. Like I was really proud of it because that was my first design for like a subtle cosplay. Like had I not had the bowler hat on there and I just went somewhere else, people could be like, oh, that reminds me of Doctor Who, but it's not like outright, hey, that's a TARDIS dress.
Yeah.
Which, actually, now I do have a cosplay goal, now that I've talked about it, is to make more of those kind of cosplays.
Yeah.
Where it's subtle, but...
You get it.
Yeah, if you know it, it's obvious.
Yeah.
If you don't, it still looks nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it's a lot more fun to do whenever you're happy with, like, I designed this thing, and now I get to show it off. The artist's desire of showing off their art.
Definitely. The need for praise and compliments.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Well, I mean, that's why we slave over a hot sewing machine to...
Yeah, basically to impress people.
Yeah. To go to a convention when people are like, can I take your picture?
And you're like, thank God.
Of course.
Acknowledging my hard work.
Yeah. Definitely ask to take pictures. Like, don't be shy about it. Ask to take pictures. If it seems like we're in a hurry, might be in a hurry.
Yeah. And if we're eating, probably wait until we're finished eating.
If portions of the costume are off, they're not really going to want to put it back on while they're eating. But other than that, roaming around the convention is fair game. Yeah. Take pictures. We love it. And I will take pictures of you.
Not the covert, candid, stalker-like pictures.
Yeah, because then it looks awkward, and you're like, oh yeah, I went to this convention. Look at this picture. And it's like, why are they all the way over there? They look really cool. I don't want to sully up with my uncoolness. Because that's what I've done sometimes. Like, man, I really love that costume.
I'll just.
I'm not cool enough to come over there.
Ask for a picture.
Which is bad. Don't do that. Go ask for pictures.
Because you're actually cool on the inside. Don't worry.
Everyone's cool.
Everyone's cool. Everyone's cool enough to at least ask for a picture.
Yeah. Well, no, everyone's cool enough to. I mean, if you're going to a convention, be it an anime or comic book convention or whatever, My Little Pony convention,
business convention.
Everyone is there for the same thing. That you all enjoy this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this cat.
No.
Sorry. If you all enjoy the same thing, they can't be that much uncooler than you because they also enjoy that thing. If you see that person and you're like, hey, that's that thing that I like, then you already have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite costumes have been like really like inside costumes that it's like if you're like really into this one thing, like you'll really know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time nobody knows what that is. Like those are some of my favorites. Like, is that guy? Oh my gosh, it is.
Do you have an
That's
example?
so awesome. I'm trying to think. Some of the more like subtle ones. I know Portal is a popular game, but you don't actually see the player character.
Mm-hmm.
And given that I mostly attend anime conventions, video game cosplays aren't as prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, anytime I see a Chell is the player's name, like, I'm like, oh yeah, awesome. Because not a lot of people get to see the player.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I love video games, and I love video game cosplays. Yeah.
That's fair.
And I need to do more video game cosplays. I think most of my cosplays have been from video games, honestly. But again, I don't cosplay that much.
If you do decide to do that Assassin's Creed cosplay, Patrick really likes Assassin's Creed. He was thinking about it too.
It's just so much work. Because, like, also making, like, the blades functional and stuff like that, that's just, oof. Like,
I mean, it doesn't have to be functional.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
If I'm going, like, cosplay goals, like, amazing, yeah, it does.
Gotta walk before you run.
Yeah.
But hey, we can have, like, a crafting thing or something.
Yeah. What's a character that you've always wanted to do, but, like, haven't gotten around to it?
Currently, and I did a test run of her, but I really want to cosplay Korra.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I cosplayed her was actually last year, and I was very unhappy with the results because I was so pressed for time and I didn't have money. Well, yeah, it was that weird thing where I didn't have time or money.
Yeah.
And it turned out, I saw another Korra cosplayer at NakaCon, which is where I wore her, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't. I'm really, like, I'm passively competitive. So, like, if I see someone better than me, it's a good and bad thing. Like, it makes me want to work harder, but I'm, like, fueled by almost spite. Yeah. It's just spite. Let's put it out there. Half of the things I do, it's out of spite. But, yeah, that makes me want to work harder. So I don't want to touch Korra until I've worked out enough that I'm confident with my body, which is going to be hard because I've always had noodle arms. And Korra's got some guns. Yeah, she does. No, I thought your Korra was pretty good. Oh, thank you. Yeah. We're always harder on ourselves, though. Yeah. No, I thought you guys did really good. Like, Patrick's Zuko was also really good. So, I think y'all did fine. You looked right, so. I'll only get better from there.
I want to settle this thing. It's okay if you don't want to say it, but I want to settle this thing.
Ooh.
You would always give Megan crap about Zutara.
Oh God, no. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And then you did Zutara.
Yeah.
And it's more for like my sake, for just like, why is everyone so annoyed over this?
All right, let me set this straight once and for all. We didn't really cosplay Zutara.
Mm-hmm.
We cosplayed Aang, Katara, and Zuko according to our body types.
Mm-hmm.
And our face types and whatnot. Patrick and I cosplayed as Katara and Zuko.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily in that order, switch it. And we happened to be dating.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so much that, we're specifically cosplaying Zutara. It just happened because of the nature of our relationship outside of cosplay. And also Katara and Aang, Katang, if you will.
Yes.
They're canon. They won. Therefore, I won. Megan.
But you still... I mean, did you do like cute coupley pictures?
Upon request. Just because we did the pictures doesn't mean we ship it.
And were you mad that you were doing that ship? Because you also happened to be dating outside of the cosplay?
I mean, I can't be mad if we voluntarily did the cosplay. I'm just saying, I still ship Katang.
That's fine.
But we do cosplay Zutara because we just happen to be dating and happen to be wearing those costumes.
Okay.
Clear as mud, right? Like I said, I'm passively competitive.
Yeah. But it's all a joke anyways.
It's all a joke anyway.
Because fandoms have really strong ships.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Battleships, if you will. And people do battle over those ships.
Which is weird.
I don't know. I'm impartial to those ships. Like, I'm willing to play devil's advocate for either side of that one specifically. Mm-hmm. More because it's funny.
Yeah. And I will admit, I didn't really, I'm not passionate about that couple. Mm-hmm. But Megan is very passionate about Zutara. And of course, I can't agree with her right off the bat. And it just kind of escalated into this whole thing.
Yeah. But it's a joke.
No, it is a joke.
I'm sorry. I wanted to clear that out.
Now it's out there.
Okay.
Your move, Megan.
We can talk about it. It's fine. And then, since you're wanting to get back into cosplay, what's something that you're going to do soon?
I've got a lot of cosplay tests lined up. Mm-hmm. Trying to think of some examples. I do want to try, okay, I've one real cosplay that I've got lined up is Princess Allura from Voltron.
Yes.
Yeah. Since all my other friends are doing Voltron stuff, I just have to find the time.
Sable describes herself as Voltrash.
Voltrash. I like it. Voltrash. Pretty sure Vol is an animal, though.
Not with the E, just VOL.
Okay.
Trash. Because then you have the first.
I'm going to misunderstand it anyway. I'm going to try to interpret it as, little tiny rodent trash.
Those rodents are trash.
All right, so it works all the way around. But yeah, Voltrash might adopt that. But yeah, so I have a wig lined up. And contacts. I finally got contacts. Jeez. But yeah, maybe I'm not sure if I'm going to make the bodysuit or buy it. But yeah,
so you're doing the bodysuit version, not the dress version.
Not initially, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sable also wants to do Allura. I wanted, if we do end up doing that, I would be doing Shiro.
Just trying to get Patrick to be Shiro.
Where do you sit on that ship?
I don't really ship anyone in that so far. I think maybe Allura and Shiro, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to admit this. I'll say it anyway since I brought it up. I actually haven't watched season 2 yet.
That's okay.
I feel ashamed, but at the same time, like, I want to be able to sit down and enjoy it.
Yes.
But again, I have no time.
That's fine. Besides, it's on Netflix. You can just
this is true.
watch it.
I might watch the first episode tonight. Well, I watched the first episode. Third episode, I'll start again.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, other ones include like some League of Legends cosplays. I'm not sure if
hard.
Have you played League?
No, I've just seen.
Okay, yeah, people hard. Like Firecracker Jinx. There's an Ari. There's an Ari skin that's actually based on a Korean dress. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that one. And like maybe Ariel, but yeah, a lot of like test stuff lined up.
Why test stuff?
To see if I like it. To see if I want to actually invest more money
into making it like a really extravagant thing.
Yeah, which I'm one of those people, like, I am totally supportive and I encourage people to cosplay even if they don't quite match the character. Like, that should never be an issue.
No.
Like, your body type, your skin color, your facial features, like your ethnicity. Like,
yeah.
If you're
AJ is one of the best Soras I've ever seen.
Yeah. And, like, that shouldn't matter at all. However, in a hypocritical stance on my part, I like to cosplay characters that I resemble more.
Yeah.
But that's just me being very nitpicky. So that's partially what the cos tests are for. Like,
yeah.
I'm not sure if I actually said this on the podcast, but I'm half Korean, half white. And
your name doesn't really indicate that.
No, so it does not at all. It's like 100% white. But when I put on like a blonde wig or like anything not naturally Asian in hair color, and pop in some colored contacts, I look significantly more white than I usually do. I say more white because like here in America, it's like, oh yeah, you're obviously Asian. And I go to like Korea and they're like, oh yeah, you're obviously white. I'm like, I belong nowhere.
Yeah, that's how half people usually feel.
Are you full?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Venezuela.
Awesome.
I mean, culturally, I'm still mostly white, so it's not like...
Same.
Even if I show up to Venezuela, I'm just like, oh, geez. I don't know what's going on.
Up until you open your mouth and they're like, oh.
No, I mean, I do speak Spanish.
Do you?
Just
Awesome.
like my vocabulary is crap.
Same. Even in English, my vocabulary is crap. I know nothing. Anyway.
No, yeah, I'm kind of the same way that being a brown individual, I'm not even that dark.
No.
But when you cosplay a dark person, you either just like when I cosplay a white person, I either lay into like my skin tone isn't that noticeable, so just do the makeup in my skin tone, which is what we did with Levi last year. Like rather than have to try to like do my arms and face and all that junk.
Oh
yeah. It was just easier to. I am brown.
Deal with it.
Makeup. Whereas with Noctis, who is like a noticeably pale character, we did make me white.
Oh no, white face.
It's cosplay though.
Well, it doesn't have the same connotation as say blackface.
No, and I mean, and that's kind of what we were saying in the other one, that like if you're doing a costume of a person who is dark, or the other way around, if you are a dark person who is doing a white costume, like and any other formulation of that, you can do with that what you will. Nobody should be disallowed from doing whatever as long as they're just trying to have fun and be a character. And so, like, you did Korra, and Korra is dark-skinned, and it's like, hey, you can't do Korra. Korra is dark-skinned. Like, I like the character, like, whatever. And people shouldn't give crap about it. Racism and intolerance of racism has to go both ways. Like I said in the last one.
Oh, jeez. My bad.
So, I mean, yeah, I did whiteface for Noctis, but it was because I was trying to be the character accurately, because he is a pale character. So, yeah. It was also way before the game came out. Like, the game had already been delayed so many times. That was when the game was still called Final Fantasy 13 Versus. Then they delayed it, and then they delayed it some more, and then they were just like, it's 15 now. It's great. It's fine. It was like an entirely different story and whatever, as opposed to what they initially announced, and now my costume isn't valid, but I'm not bitter or anything.
It's not like I spent time and money on it.
Yes.
It's fine, just change it up.
It got simpler, though. Like, that's what makes me even more mad. Is that, like, I did all this work to have, like, this, like, heavy jacket thing.
And now you can't even, like, upgrade your cosplay. You have to downgrade it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now it's just, like, a casual, like, button-up shirt that's open and then, like, some shorts. It's like, oh, great. Thanks.
No, you'll be special with your more detailed costume. It's okay. It happened.
With a costume that a bulk of the people who have played the game have not seen. Although I don't know if that costume is in the game.
Where'd you see it then? Where did you see it then?
In all the trailers and promotional stuff that they had whenever they were still delaying the game.
It existed. You can still cosplay it. It's not like all the Kingdom Hearts 2 cosplayers have to, like, they can't wear Kingdom Hearts 2 anymore because 3 is coming out.
Well, no, but, like...
Now you seem inaccurate.
That's a different thing, though.
Oh,
It's just, like, a sequel to the game, but it actually came out. As opposed to, like... We just redesigned it.
Yeah. It's okay. It'll be special.
There are pictures of it, and that's what it'll be. I don't know. I'm gonna cosplay it again, honestly, just because the game is different now, and now I have to play the game because now that the game is out, it feels weird doing cosplay of things that you don't know enough about, because then people ask you questions about it, and you're like, yeah.
Been there. Can't relate too much because I'm really good at BS. Like, I've never really watched Yu-Gi-Oh! And yet Merrick Star.
Yeah.
I watched the Bridge series. I think that counts a little bit, though. That's who I base my character off of. Not like...
You fraud!
Not real Merrick. The Bridge series Merrick.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because that's the character that you were playing?
Yeah.
You weren't even playing, like, the same character at that point.
Yeah. It just looked like the original character.
Yeah. But no, I just feel weird about, like, I don't like cosplaying things that I don't know enough about.
No,
which is
that's
already
normal.
strange enough with Noctis. It's like, is this even a character? Is this game even going to exist?
Tune in next time.
Which is why I try my best to care a lot about the character. And that makes the cosplay process itself a lot better. Because then you're like, oh, hey, there's this little detail that, like, whenever they do this thing, they have this thing in their pocket. And whenever people ask me about things or take my picture, I can pull it out of my pocket and be like, hey, look, I care about the thing.
And they're like, whoa, you care about it.
Yeah.
And everyone's happy.
Yeah. Unless I don't know anything about it. It's just, yeah.
They're like, look at me. Now leave.
Don't ask me questions, please.
Yeah. Let's talk outside of cosplay. Let's not do anything in character.
Trying to think if there's any other cosplay questions that I have for you. Do you Do you have any cosplay questions for me?
What's your next cosplay, dude? When are you gonna cosplay again, dude?
At Tokyo and Tulsa.
Okay.
And also
Secret skit.
skit. And related costumes to the skit on the other days. Hype.
What? Oh, one more question. Why do you want to get back into cosplay?
Because it's fun. I'm a performer. And I'm a performer in like every sense of the word. So, like I did theater in high school. I did show choir and choir, marching band and skits, obviously. But I'm also a musician, and so I perform my music. A lot of, like, it's one thing to just make music and hand it to someone else, and then it's another thing to, like, do it in front of other people. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, the performance bug in me. And so that performance bug extends to all other parts of my life, because being an extrovert, I wasn't always an extrovert, but you know, I caught a bug.
I got sick. That's how extroverts are made.
Yeah, extroverts are sick people.
Yeah.
Why do you want attention? That's weird.
What do you mean that's how you recharge? You recharge by retreating into your house in a dark corner.
It's both.
Ambivert.
More extroverted than introverted, though. Anyways, yeah, I'm a performer, and I try and showcase that in as many different ways as I can. So if I can make music in front of people, that's cool. If I can make a costume and act in character in that costume, that's also fun too. One of the more fun things that we did last year was go to karaoke in cosplay.
Hey!
After having won the skit. That was a lot of fun.
I haven't been to karaoke in a while.
Yeah.
And then cosplay karaoke.
Yeah, right? Cosplay karaoke is so much fun. I highly recommend it.
All right.
And then you might also see me there. So, Tokyo and Tulsa, go to the cosplay karaoke, or just karaoke, because anyone can do it. But I will be in cosplay, and so will everyone else. in Solstice, that is.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. You can refer back to the Solstice cosplay episode of this podcast. Self-plug. Yeah. Any other cosplay questions you have for me?
Nothing that you haven't already said. I mean, we've done a good job of both answering the questions.
Yeah, I didn't want to make this as much of an interview. Because conversations are more fun.
Yeah.
Sally, where can we find your things?
Oh boy. Okay, so you can find my Instagram for the cosplay section. It's Vandever, also on Facebook. My personal Instagram is of Cedar and Cloves with periods in between. That's if you want aesthetic stuff. And if you want to hear more controversial statements about biblical things, follow my Twitter. It's Tova Shrimp, TOEVAH_shrimp, where I pull out a lot of saltiness about the Bible, very minor things. They come with scripture quotes, and it sometimes gets political.
Yay! Cool. And we also plugged Rebecca Lai.
Oh yeah, on Instagram if you want to find a really good cosplayer to follow, and I'll plug in her girlfriend too, J Lily Maxon, J.Lily.Maxon. Cool.
And also follow Solstice Cosplay on Facebook.
Yeah, another plug.
Skit, Tokyo and Tulsa, hype.
Another shameless plug, if you want to see the skits that I did, if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged or anything like that, you can find it on YouTube under How to Be Evil 101, How to Be Sexy 101, and How to Be a Villain 101.
Those are excellent.
Yeah.
And then the other Solstice Cosplay podcast that I did, where I had Solstice Cosplay on the podcast. Yeah, and you can find me on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music, and I also do this podcast, which you can let me know that you are listening to, and you can let me know that you enjoy it, or you can let me know that you don't enjoy it. Just let me know, really. But you can find all my things there on my website, santiagoramones.com. And I always end my podcasts with my 3 things. Love never fails. It's going to be okay. I might be wrong.